Pretty cold weather conditions here at Bunbury tonight. A very strong southerly breeze blowing straight across the venue as we now proceed with heat number 1 and a very good field which sees Jason Crump engaged to do battle over 3 laps here with Rooney Holder from Norway, Todd Wiltshire, Joe Screen from England, Lee Adams from Mildura and Ronnie Corey the American. That is Adams on the extreme right-hand side of your screen in the red helmet colour, Joe Screen beside him, then Corey, Jason Crump in yellow-black. The other rider involved here is Todd Wiltshire in the green helmet colour, and should be an absolute beauty. This venue, the biggest in circumference that this series visits on an annual basis, 585 metres in circumference, and as you can see, a particularly wide racetrack. And when they said go the first time round, it was Jason Crump. He's been absolutely spectacular in this tournament so far, and that's why he finds himself leading the points score by a fairly comfortable margin. There's no doubt the Lee Adams crash at Warrnambool, which you saw a couple of weeks ago rather, has certainly cost him dearly. It's Jason Crump. You can see the gap between first and second, about 7 or 8 metres as they head down the back straight. They'll see the yellow flag on display next time round, signifying 1 lap of the Bunbury City and Regional Raceway to negotiate. This is round 8 of the $1 Million Series 500 International Speedway Masters. No change in the order. Jason Crump from Rooney Holder. Next on and best of the rest on the circuit is Todd Wiltshire. Rooney Holder now inside the last racing lap starts to make up considerable ground on our race leader, but the checkered flag now unfolds for the Queenslander. Jason Crump across the top of the handlebars. He got there and in so doing took 5 valuable qualifying points. Holder was second, then Wiltshire, Screen, Adams, Corey in the time of 58.33. Now heat number 2. And it brings together another class field. Antonin Kasper from the Czech Republic. That's him in the yellow-black helmet colour. On his left-hand side, or the right-hand side of the screen, is Denmark's Jon Jorgensen in the white helmet colour. Nigel Flatman rides out of position number 5 in the green helmet colour. Former English international, now domiciled in Western Australia. And on the extreme outside here, a young rider worth watching, Nigel Sadler. As we get them underway, and the reigning Continental Speedway champion, Antonin Kasper, a veteran of this sport, he's some 37 years of age, is the race leader. Jon Jorgensen working away on the inside, running third on the extreme right-hand side of your picture. And in second at the moment on the circuit is Nigel Sadler, doing a good job, the young South Australian who just recently won the Australian Under-21 Championship. Well, I've put the jinx on him, haven't I? He's just broken down and will take no further part in this event. Antonin Kasper, though, in the meantime, is untroubled out in front. Jon Jorgensen is his only major challenger, the Scandinavian champion. These 2 riders up front will represent their respective countries, the Czech Republic and Denmark, in the 1999 World Grand Prix by virtue of outstanding form on the continent in 1998, and they've been fairly consistent in this series. Kasper has had no luck, the race leader. He's going to have a bit of luck this time round and take 5 qualifying points with him for victory in heat number 2. Jorgensen second, Nigel Flatman was third in a race time of 59.37, 1 second slower than the previous 3-lap journey won by Jason Crump. Now heat number 3, that is Lee Redmond, local West Australian rider. That is Greg Bartlett, a local West Australian rider, and that is Sydney's Craig Boyce, winner of this tournament in 1996. There is Mark Leram from England, the 1997 Danish Grand Prix champion. Pretty good field here. And Redmond on the inside had a problem with the starting tapes here. The inside tape didn't seem to go up in sync with the rest of the tape stretched across the racetrack. England's Mark Leram is your leader. Look at Craig Boyce in the centre. He's fighting hard with Greg Bartlett. Good rider Bartlett, had a couple of seasons in England with the Sheffield side and rode in this tournament in its entirety in 1996 and did a very admirable job too. These days combines speedway racing with motocross, and really not seen that often on oval tracks these days, which is something of a tragedy. Mark Leram is really blasting away with this one, pouring on the horsepower. Look at the gap he's opened up already as he heads back onto the main straight to see the yellow flag. The gap between first and second would have to be at least 20 metres. This racetrack, due to the nature of it, they're clocking in excess of 150 kilometres an hour on the back straight, which is the part that Mark Leram now graces once again. Bearing in mind they have no brakes, they're pretty brave, these boys, and Leram out of turn 4 is going to emerge a very comfortable victor. Craig Boyce will last for second. Frank Smart got up for third right on the line ahead of Bartlett. Lee Redmond failed to finish due to mechanical problems. 58.55, that is the quickest time of the night and a new 3-lap track record for Bunbury. Now the commencement of the second round of qualifying heat sees Antonin Kasper, Ronnie Corey, Frank Smart returning for battle, Lee Adams, Lewis Russell, a local West Australian rider. The policy of this tournament to invite the best local talent to take part in each round. They're referred as wild cards. Casper, already a comfortable winner of his first heat tonight. He starts on the extreme outside in the white and black helmet colour, and he got a gun start when the tapes flew. He was rolling forward in a legal sense, no cheating about it, and he takes off down the back straight, leading them by 4 or 5 metres. Racing up into second, you'll find, is Frank Smart. He'll now find himself under siege from the Californian, former World Team Cup and World Pairs champion Ronnie Corey. There goes Corey up on the inside and secures second on the circuit. Now, the man struggling in this race at the moment is the 2 times and defending Masters Series champion, Lee Adams. He's back running fourth, a mile off the pace, and is really feeling the effects of that 150 km/h crash that he had at Warrnambool in round 6 of this series. Struggling at the moment, which is a tragedy for a man regarded as a real threat for outright victory in this tournament for the 3rd consecutive year. You're now looking at Corey under siege from Frank Smart. They're not going to catch the Czech Republic and Continental Speedway champion Antonin Casper. He's got the bike, the Villawood Truck Sales Jower, really circulating here tonight, and he gets across the line with a wheel stand to celebrate. Casper from Corey, Frank Smart was 3rd, then Lee Adams, Lewis Russell in a time of 60.66 seconds, which was the slowest race time of the 3-lap journeys recorded so far tonight. Heat 5 sees the return of the dashing Englishman Mark Laram and Joe Screen. Screen from Chesterfield has been probably the best of the foreign riders in the series up to this point. Todd Wiltshire, Jon Jorgensen, Nigel Sadler, Lee Redmond. Good field here. Redmond on the extreme outside in the black helmet colour. Jorgensen in green. Joe Screen in yellow, black, and that is an ideal start as they head down the back straight by Lee Redmond, the young local rider who had a very nasty pelvis injury about 3 years ago, retired from the sport, and gets the bike out of mothballs at this time of year every season for the annual International Speedway Masters Series. Doing a good job, Redmond on the inside. That's Todd Wiltshire racing by on the outside on the Skilled Engineering Team Gresham Extreme Jower entry. He's going to find himself under increasing pressure now from the flying Englishman Mark Laram on the Series 500 Jower. Racing room is minimal as they pour off turn 4 and sprint back up the main straight. They see the yellow flag. 1 lap of this huge Bunbury City Raceway to run, 585 metres around, and this one is not all over just yet as Laram applies all the pressure in the world to Todd Wiltshire. Wiltshire is an experienced campaigner. He'll be aware of the fact Laram is there. He switches lines and has a look on the inside and got there, the Englishman. Great ride by him, defeating Wiltshire right on the line. Laram the victor, Wiltshire second, and Jorgensen third in a time of 60.26. Another look at the last racing lap. Wiltshire had it all under control. Note the vertical manner in which he sits up on the bike as opposed to the style of many of the other riders. Loram, in contrast, tends to put the head down and tuck it down behind the fork cover or the handlebars. And Wiltshire really probably should have been a little more protective in the way he rode here. He would have heard Laram on the inside for sure. And there's the result. Laram, it was a sprint to the finish line, with the Englishman getting there in a sensational ride and taking 5 points. He's been improving at every outing in this series, Mark Laram. You get the feeling he's knocking on the door for a round victory. We now advance to heat number 6 of 12 qualifying heats. Jason Crump returning for battle. Rooney Holter, the Norwegian, who's been a sensation in the 1999 running of the International Speedway Master Series. Jason Hawkes from Victoria. Craig Boyce, Nigel Flatman, the former Englishman, now living in Perth, and Greg Bartlett in the yellow-black. Bartlett never to be written off, particularly on his own tracks. Craig Boyce got away reasonably well, not as smartly as Jason Crump, though. That's Crump in the red helmet colour. Here comes Boyce wearing the green helmet colour. Rooney Holder up the inside in the blue helmet colour. Not a lot of racing room here. You could throw a tally-ho paper over the entire 4 here as they race out of turn number 4. 2 laps to go in this one. 1 lap gone. And Holder is certainly the danger man here for Jason Crump. Crump riding an intelligent racing line, protecting the inside of the racetrack. Racing by on the outside there, and good progress was Jason Hawkes, the Victorian, doing a pretty good job here, mixing it with Rooney Holder, who's an experienced veteran, the Norwegian, who confines his racing activities to Poland, Sweden and Denmark. Like most of the other international riders in this tournament, Holter does not ride in the British Elite League, but at the moment I can tell you he's fielding offers from no less than 7 clubs as a result of his outstanding form. He's going to pressure Jason Crump. Checkered flag about to unfold. Crump on the inside, Halter on the outside, the Norwegian coming quickly, but it's all over. Crump got there, took 5 points, 4 points for the second man there, Rooney Halter. Jason Hawkes, good ride there, 3 points for him. Then Craig Boyce, who's struggling tonight on a track you would have expected him to shine at. Always been very good here, Boyce. That is not the case tonight. Time there, by the way, was 60.07 seconds. Now the bikes return for battle in heat number 7. That is Lee Adams in the black helmet colour. Joe Screen will start beside him. Young Nigel Sadler lines up in yellow-black. He is a rider of the future, the young South Aussie talent. And over on the inside is Greg Bartlett from Perth as we get them underway again in heat number 7. And Lee Adams desperately looking for 5 points here. He's had some indifferent finishes tonight, but he is not a well boy, struggling with a fairly serious back problem and neck injuries sustained as a result of his crash at Warrnambool. Joe Screen on the left-hand side of your picture, popping wheel stands out of turn number 4. There's the Englishman now, up running second in the green helmet colour, a former World Under-21 champion and former British champion, current English test rider. He too has qualified for the upcoming World Grand Prix Series, as is the case with our race leader here, Australia's Lee Adams, and Adams one of 3 Aussie stars to contest the upcoming World Championship along with Jason Crump and Ryan Sullivan. It's all Lee Adams in this one. Can Joe Screen do anything about the lead that Lee Adams has been able to build up and capitalise on? Screen's going to have a go on the outside. They both keep the horsepower on. Sadler's going to finish third. It's been quite a ride by him, but Adams got there. Screen second, Sadler third, then Hawkes, Smart and Bartlett. Time there, 61.25. Now heat number 8 sees the return of Jason Crump, Mark Laram, Todd Wiltshire, Antonin Casper and Nigel Flatman. That is Laram, who was already greeted the judge tonight when he won heat number 5. This Flatman, if you recognise the leathers, they are the leathers worn formerly by Greg Hancock, America's 1997 World Speedway champion, and Flatman managed to souvenir them somehow. That is Antonin Casper from the Czech Republic. And that is Todd Wiltshire, the comeback man, and what a job he's doing on the World Speedway stage, following 5 years out of the sport due to a badly smashed pelvis and lower back injuries. Incredible the manner in which he's been able to slot himself straight back at the top level of the sport after 5 years away. Now Crump, the man to watch out for here on the extreme left-hand side of your screen. Look at the width of this circuit. One of the reasons is that it accommodates the 6-rider per heat format. Regular viewers of the Masters Series action would know that it comprises 2 formats largely. The big wide tracks accommodate 6 riders per race, or 18 riders overall for the night. And the narrower tracks, 16 riders or 4 per heat. I'll get my teeth in my head now. As we get them away, and Wiltshire smartly away on the inside. Casper likewise got a great start, the Czech Republic champion. Here comes Jason Crump now, winding it up on the outside. Nice slingshot move. He and Wiltshire are drag racing down the back straight here at Bunbury. Crump might have the ascendancy momentarily. That is Mark Laram now racing by on the outside of Todd Wiltshire. Good speedway here, and look at the speed as they blast past the camera on the main straight. They're clocking 156 kilometres an hour there, according to the telemetry feedback on some of these bikes. Crump over the top of the handlebars, almost long track style, a little reminiscent of road racing perhaps, and both he and the man in second spot, Mark Laram, have both done plenty of long track racing in Europe, so they're not going to have a problem coming to terms with this big sweeping wide racetrack at Bunbury. Inside the last lap now, and Crump is well and truly under siege from the Englishman Mark Laram. He's got a couple of corners to run, the Queensland former World Under-21 champion. Crump had to look left, he had to look right. That's where Laram is across the line. Crump got there just ahead of Laram and Wiltshire. Antonin Casper was fourth ahead of Nigel Flatman in a time of 60.76 seconds. Another look at it, and that was helter-skelter with about half a lap to negotiate. Crump fighting with everything he had, and Laram calling on all his experience as well on the outside. Great performance by both of them. Another heat victory for Crump. Make sure you stay with us on Checkered Flag. A break now, and then back with more action from Bunbury. Welcome back to Checkered Flag on C7 Sport as we welcome you back to Bunbury City and Regional Raceway in Western Australia. The show has been on the road now for several months, And this is about as far away from home as you could possibly get down the bottom left-hand corner of the country. Now heat number 9 and our highlights of round 8 of the $1 Million International Speedway Masters Series. Jon Jorgensen, Craig Boyce, Rooney Holter, Ronnie Corey, Lee Redmond and Lewis Russell, the 6 riders to do battle here. That's Russell on the extreme left-hand side of your screen. Ronnie Corey from California in the green helmet colour out of gate number 5. And that was a fairly good start by him. But it's the Scandinavian champion from Denmark, Jon Jorgensen, on the inside that also got away smartly. But not quite as good as Craig Boyce, who's gone racing by on the outside, the Sydney-sider. And that is Norway's Rooney Holter now storming around the outside to consolidate second on the circuit. Good race here, Craig Boyce in front of them, followed by Rooney Holter. Then Jon Jorgensen having a good battle as they head back onto the back straight here with Ronnie Corey. And really not a lot between the top 3 runners here as now Rooney Holter has a look up on the inside of the Sydney side of Craig Boyce. Boyce, a former world number 3. He achieved that at Vojens in Denmark in 1994, won this tournament in 1996, didn't have the best of seasons in Europe in 1998, started the Masters Series pretty well as we now have a look at that. Rooney Holter was the ham in the sandwich, Boyce on the inside, Jorgensen on the outside. That is Butte Speedway by the Scandinavian champion on the Champ Oil Filters GM, and Jorgensen gets there in a great ride, defeating Craig Boyce. Rooney Holter probably couldn't believe it there. He turned onto the back straight, a clear-cut leader, and then was then swamped by Jorgensen and Boyce in this manner. Another look at it. Boyce the outside, the Norwegian, Rooney Holter on the inside, and appeared to have it under control here. Boyce switches lines and slingshots up on the inside, and look at Jorgensen. Got maximum drive up high on the circuit and went by Holter so quickly the Norwegian almost caught pneumonia with the breeze. The Scandinavian, very good ride by him, and saw the checkered flag in his sights and recorded that victory in a time of 61:48 seconds. It is chilly here tonight at Bunbury, and a very strong breeze blowing across the venue as that shot graphically illustrates. Now it's heat number 10 with Rooney Holter returning. Likewise Joe Screen and Jason Crump, Todd Wiltshire, Ronnie Corey and Lee Adams. This is a field befitting a World Grand Prix. 3 former World Under-21 champions line up in this. Crump, Screen and Adams. A former World number 3 in Wiltshire. And a multiple winner of the World Team Cup and World Pairs in Ronnie Corey from California. A quality star-studded field. Another 3-lap journey. Set to send them on their way. Holter's bike reared dangerously at the start. There he is in the red helmet colour, going via the guttering on the pole line on the inside of this racetrack. Terrific battle here unfolding. Ronnie Corey, the Californian, on the outside. That's Newcastle's Todd Wiltshire, storming up into third on the circuit. He gave Jason Crump a little bit of a short shift there. Not a lot of racing room at all. In fact, Joe Screen, meantime, has booted up now to compete in this race in the top 4. Crump is in the centre, Screen's on the inside, but back up front is the Norwegian Rooney Holter. Ronnie Corey is second. Don't know where to look here. There's plenty of action all over the circuit. Who will it be as they race out of turn number 4 with 1 1/4 laps remaining now? Holter's your leader. Corey on the outside. Jason Crump has somehow managed to muscle his way up into third on the circuit, ahead of Joe Screen and Todd Wiltshire at the back now. No doubting the man in front, Rooney Holter. It's been a terrific ride by him. He forged his way to the front of the pack after getting an indifferent start and is going to get home unchallenged from there. Rooney Holter across the line. The left hand in the air. He's happy about it too. Who was it across the line in second? It was Joe Screen ahead of Jason Crump, Wiltshire and Corey and Adams. And you can see there Jason Crump is waving something at Wiltshire, and Wiltshire likewise waving back. They're not happy. Crump complaining bitterly about something. And there's plenty of verbaling happening out there at the moment. A bit of drama at the Bunbury City and Regional Raceway venue. I did see Wiltshire and Crump in the first racing lap getting very tight together. It's got to be said too, there's no love lost between them anyway. So if something has gone wrong on the racetrack, it's only going to exaggerate or inflame an already tense situation between Wiltshire and Crump. Another look at it. Watch the right-hand side of your screen. Crump goes there and almost knocks Ronnie Corey off his bike. Here comes Wiltshire now. I think this is what Crump is complaining about. He just took him, he took him up track and Crump had to get off it. And you saw his left leg fly back as a result of his weight transfer. Well, Crump was doing plenty of his own shunting on the first corner with Corey. Here's Wiltshire now. Note the way he sits up on the bike. Yeah, I think that was the problem with Crump. He was not a happy boy. A well-publicised incident between the two last year whilst racing for Oxford, the Oxford Cheetahs in the British Elite League. They actually came to blows on the racetrack, with Crump throwing a big left hook at Wiltshire. Got a lot of press in Europe. Now it's heat number 11. Jon Jorgensen, Antonin Casper, Jason Hawkes, Nigel Flatman, Lewis Russell and Nigel Sadler. Away they go, and best to begin on the inside was the young South Australian Nigel Sadler. A lot of people got big raps on this kid. He's been taken part in a number of series rounds in the summer of 98, 99 as a wild card, and may very well have ridden his way into a starting berth in this tournament next season. Up the main straight, though, it's the Danish Scandinavian title holder, Jon Jorgensen, having a pretty good night here at Bunbury. And it's got to be said, you would think a racetrack that wouldn't suit his style. He did really learn his craft on the tiny European tracks and is very well suited to the 280 to 300 metre circumference tracks, but he's got the right horsepower combination of gearing here tonight, and he's really going to blast away with this heat and win in emphatic fashion. Jorgensen down the back straight leads Antonin Casper. Jason Hawkes is third, then Flatman, Russell. Sadler has pulled out of the event. I've put the mocker on the young man again with mechanical problems. It's all Jorgensen. Absolutely gapped the opposition. Casper and then Hawkes in a time of 60.85. Good ride by Jorgensen. Now it's heat 12. Hope you're enjoying the action. Craig Boyce, Mark Laram, Frank Smart from Perth. Lee Redmond, Greg Bartlett from Perth. So Craig Boyce from Sydney. Mark Laram is the lone foreigner in this event. Smart, Redmond and Bartlett all from Western Australia. Boyce in the green helmet colour. Laram starts on the extreme left-hand side of your screen. There he is now in the black helmet, one of the world's most exciting, explosive riders. Very cavalier-style rider, Mark Laram. Good job by Hawkes again, jumping out. He's having a fair meeting tonight, the Victorian, Jason Hawkes. Desperate to crack it on the international scene. Unfortunately, couldn't answer the challenge of Sydney's Craig Boyce, vastly experienced rider on the Team Gresham Extreme Speedway Racing News magazine, Jower. He runs down the back straight, clear-cut leader. Mark Laram is now starting to burst out of the pack, though, and he will certainly launch a challenge on Craig Boyce before much time elapses. Here he comes now, Laram, the Englishman, actually born in Malta. His real name is Laramski. As a matter of interest, I don't think he's too keen on it, hence the name, the shortened version, Laram. And Craig Boyce is surely going to get home in this one and take 5 points with him. It won't be enough, though, to get him into the A final tonight. In fact, he may even struggle to get into the B final. He's had an awful night, Craig Boyce, this evening, but is going to get the 5 points in the final qualifying heat. Laram was second, Frank Smart third. The time there was 61.44 seconds. Now advance to the B final. You're watching the highlights in round 8 of the $1 million Series 500 International Speedway Masters Series. This is for the riders that at the completion of 12 qualifying heats qualified in positions 7 to 12. The next bunch of 6 after the top 6 scorers, who you'll see in the A final after this. Adams, Screen, Wiltshire, Smart, Hawkes and Corey. Pretty good field. A reflection of the outstanding quality in this tournament. Corey the leader, Wiltshire in the centre, Lee Adams on the outside. That is brave stuff from the Victorian, who can barely walk around the pits tonight. Really struggling with back and neck injuries. This is like the charge of the Light Brigade as they race out of turn 4. Back through the bottom couple of corners, and the Californian Ronnie Corey giving Lee Adams a little bit of cheek there momentarily, but Adams again demonstrates his experience and local knowledge of the Bunbury venue. He's been here now 4 times, Lee Adams, the 4th time this event has appeared here. The last time was in 1997 when the brilliant Englishman, 2 times world long track champion Kelvin Tatum raced to victory. In fact, Tatum winning the Perth leg of that tour in 1997 as well. Look at the gap that Lee Adams has opened up on them. But at the same time, look at the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the circuit. They're going crazy, the boys, on the 500cc bikes. Adams is your leader. I think Joe Screen's now up running 2nd. Indeed, that is the case. Todd Wiltshire is 3rd inside the last lap. Well, a very good win here by Lee Adams, and plenty of valuable points up for grabs here to win the B final, not to mention the prize money. So he's still going to stay in series contention despite missing an A final berth tonight. Adams takes the B final. 2nd was Joe Screen, 3rd Todd Wiltshire, Frank Smart, good job by the local rider to finish fourth ahead of Hawks and Corey, unfortunately not finishing the journey due to mechanical failure. Now time for the A final for the top 6 qualifiers tonight. That is Mark Laram, who's been very hot tonight. Antonin Kasper, there he is, the 37-year-old veteran from Prague in the Czech Republic. Wonderful career in the sport. Craig Boyce, and that is Jason Crump. If you're wondering what they're doing, they're all looking at the racetrack so they can ascertain the best starting position. The rules of this tournament, that is Rooney Holter, by the way, the popular Norwegian. The rules of this tournament are such that the top qualifier at the end of the qualifying heats has his choice of starting position for the A final. The top man tonight, Mark Laram, and he's chosen gate number 1 on the inside and will start in the red helmet colour. Craig Boyce in blue did qualify for the A final. I misled you earlier. He did score enough points to get through to the A final. Kasper in the white helmet colour out of gate 3. Jon Jorgensen in yellow black out of 4. Rooney Holter in green out of 5. And Queensland's Jason Crump black and white out of gate number 6. And we are away in this 4-lap A final, the grand final of round 8 of the Series 500 International Masters. And have a look at them go down the back straight. Mark Laram got an unusually good start. We normally see him charging from the back. Look at Antonin Kasper up high on the circuit. He's trying to challenge both of them in the most spectacular way possible, right around the outside. And Queensland's Jason Crump, as always, very consistent up running second at the moment. You get the feeling it will be a battle between these three. Look at them pack up now as they head down the back straight in the big race of the night. Mark Laram's the leader, the Englishman, the Czech Republic champion. Antonin Kasper in the white helmet colour having a look. Jason Crump has forced his way to the front of the pack. Can Laram come back at him on the inside? I think he can. They run through turns 1 and 2 very tightly packed, nothing between them. An absolute drag race between the two of them, and Antonin Kasper's not too far away either. Laram, can he do it? Can he break through for his maiden victory in the International Speedway Masters Series? Crump has already won a host of events so far in the tournament. Across the line they run. There's 1 lap to run. The Englishman, Mark Laram. It's a real track for English riders. I've already talked about Kelvin Tatum and the fact that he was the last winner here at Bunbury in 1997. It looks to be another stomping ground for the Englishman, and Simon Wigg won here twice, so it's a great circuit for the English riders, and Mark Laram is going to do it across the line and wins round 8 of the $1 million International Speedway Masters Series. Jason Crump was second, Rooney Holter was third on the line, and Jon Jorgensen ahead of Antonin Kasper and Craig Boyce. Racing time 81 seconds neat. Great performance by Laram. That is his mechanic, Norrie Allen, who used to be the mechanic for the legendary 6-times world champion Ivan Major, has been with Laram since the early stages of his career. So every round of the Masters Series here at Bunbury won by an Englishman.